Greetings, celebrity scoop aficionados. Remember to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Today, we're diving into the narrative of Harry and Meghan's royal departure. The couple boldly chose to step away from the royal family, carving out their own path in the world, independent from the taxpayer's purse. Yet, despite this brave choice for independence and privacy, the media continues to hound them, tracking their every move with relentless fervour. This relentless scrutiny begs the question, why? Why, when they've clearly sought a life away from the limelight, does the press continue to hound them like heat-seeking missiles? The couple has moved on, embarking on their own journey, building businesses, running a foundation, creating content, and raising their children in California. They're no longer part of the monarchy, so why can't the world let them be? Isn't it time we moved on and let them live their life? Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, their finances. Harry and Meghan made the conscious decision to step away from the royal coffers, choosing to carve their own path, independent of the public purse. Yet their every financial move is scrutinized with a magnifying glass. But let's turn the lens around for a moment, shall we? Where, dear listeners, does your hard-earned taxpayer money go when it's funneled into the royal treasury? It's an interesting question, isn't it? There seems to be an unspoken agreement to turn a blind eye to the opulence of the remaining monarchy. The extravagant renovations, the costly travels, the golden carriages, all funded by the public purse. Yet the focus is always Harry and Meghan, the ones who chose to step away from this extravagance. The irony is palpable. The ones who chose a life of financial independence are the ones hounded by questions of fiscal responsibility. Meanwhile, those living a life of luxury on public funds are given a free pass. It's a double standard that's hard to ignore. Harry and Meghan are not asking for handouts. They're not draining the monarchy's coffers. They're not even in the monarchy anymore. They're building businesses, running a foundation, creating content, raising children and living their lives. They're making their own money, spending their own money, and yet their finances are still up for public debate. But why? Is it because they dared to leave and are still thriving? Is it because they're shining brighter, freer and more relatable than anyone expected? Or is it because their success threatens the status quo? Perhaps it's time we shift our gaze to the ones still living in royal comfort. The ones who, while waving from balconies, are still living lavishly on your dime. Now that's a money question worth asking. But let's dig deeper. What's the real issue here? You see, Harry and Meghan have taken a leap into the unknown, carving out their own paths and building their own lives. They've become entrepreneurs, philanthropists, content creators, parents, and above all, individuals living their lives on their own terms. They've stepped away from the royal life, not to shirk responsibilities, but to embrace new ones. They're building businesses, running a foundation, creating content that matters, and raising their children in an environment of their choosing. But what's this? The media, it seems, can't get enough. They're still doggedly pursuing the couple, obsessively documenting their every move, every decision. The question is, why this obsession? Why this relentless scrutiny of two people who have chosen to live independently, to build their own future? Could it be that the media is threatened by their success? Could it be that they're unsettled by the thought of Harry and Meghan thriving outside the royal bubble? The couple said no to a system that didn't serve them. They walked away, and instead of crashing and burning as many predicted, they're shining brighter than ever. They're living a life that's not just about waving from balconies and cutting ribbons, but about making a real difference. They're relatable, they're real, and they're resonating with people around the world, and perhaps that's what's truly bothering the media. The fact that Harry and Meghan are not just surviving, but thriving. The fact that they've managed to break free from the shackles of royal life and are living a life of purpose and peace. The real issue here, it seems, is not about the money or the departure from royal life. It's about the freedom and success that Harry and Meghan have found outside the palace walls. Could it be that their freedom and success outside the palace walls is what truly bothers the media? In fact, isn't it fascinating how Harry and Meghan's journey has made them more relatable than ever? They've stepped out from the shadow of tradition, the weight of expectations, and the glare of royal spotlights to carve out their own path. It's a path that many of us can identify with, one marked by the quest for self-determination and personal happiness. Harry and Meghan could have stayed within the gilded cage of royalty, but they chose to say no to a system that didn't serve their best interests. Instead, they pursued a life that aligns with their values and aspirations. They've built a world that's not defined by a royal title, but by their own merit and hard work. They've started their own businesses, set up a foundation, and are raising two beautiful children. All of this while maintaining a level of privacy and peace that was once impossible for them. Their decision to walk away from royal life, to reject the system that had bound them, was bold and unprecedented. They've faced criticism and scrutiny, but they've also shown us that it's possible to break free from the confines of tradition and expectation. They've shown us that it's possible to thrive outside of the box that society has placed us in. There's a certain beauty in their resilience, in their ability to weather the storm, to rise above the noise, and to continue to shine brightly in their authenticity. They're not just former royals, they're entrepreneurs, philanthropists, parents, and above all, individuals who have the courage to live life on their own terms. Their journey has not been without its challenges, but each challenge has only made them stronger, more determined, and more relatable. They've shown us that it's not about where you come from, it's about where you're going and who you're going with. It's about creating a life that brings you joy, that aligns with your values, and that allows you to make a positive impact in the world. The truth is, their story is a testament to resilience and independence. It's a story that's not defined by royal titles or duties, but by their unwavering determination to build a life of purpose and peace. So, here's our message to all the naysayers and critics out there. Harry and Meghan's finances are not your concern. They're not living off public funds. They're not asking for handouts. They're building businesses, creating content, raising a family, and contributing positively to society. Their financial decisions, their investments, their earnings, these are their business, not ours. They've walked away from the royal life and the public purse strings that come with it, so it's high time we respect that. Their choices are also none of our business. They chose freedom over tradition, independence over reliance. They chose to leave a system that was toxic for them, and they've not only survived, they've thrived. They've shown us that it's possible to break free, to carve your own path, and to live a life that's true to who you are. Their decisions, their choices, their path, these are for them to make and for us to respect. Their happiness is not a threat, it's not a sign of failure or defeat, it's a testament to their strength, their resilience, and their determination to live a life that's authentic and fulfilling. They're not just surviving, they're thriving. And that's something we should applaud, not criticize. Their happiness is their own, and it's not for us to question or undermine. So instead of focusing on Harry and Meghan, let's turn our attention to those who are still living off public funds. Those who are still part of the system, still benefiting from the taxpayers' money. Let's ask ourselves why we're so concerned about two people who've chosen to live independently and not about those who continue to live off the public purse. Let's respect Harry and Meghan's journey. Let's respect their choices, their independence, their happiness. Let's respect their right to privacy, their right to live their lives as they see fit. They've chosen their path, and they're walking it with grace and dignity. Let's respect their journey and their right to privacy. To wrap up this enlightening discussion, we've delved into the unnecessary scrutiny Harry and Meghan face, despite their independent and purposeful path away from royal life. They've made a bold choice to build their own future, free from the constraints of the monarchy, and yet they continue to be hounded by prying eyes and pointed questions. The real issue at hand is not the financial affairs of those who've chosen freedom and self-reliance, but rather the unchecked spending of those still nestled within the royal establishment. Harry and Meghan are thriving, building businesses, running a foundation, creating content, and raising a family. Their happiness and success should be celebrated, not picked apart. Respecting their decisions, their privacy, and their right to live their lives as they see fit is essential. After all, they are no longer subjects of the crown, but citizens of the world, living their own American dream. Thank you for tuning in, And remember to subscribe to Celebrity Scoop for more insightful discussions. Until next time.